Well, these arrived sooner than expected. Board! With bricks! I had originally planned to have one video for my recent AliExpress purchases. However, by the time I finished splicing the video, it was over 30 minutes. This will be the first in a 3-part series of my AliExpress brick mounts compatible with LEGO minifigures. The mounts include horses, dragons, wargs, and a few other types. I had originally ordered some of these from a different vendor, but never received the products. What I am showing is my second purchase of these items, which were ordered from a different vendor. In this video, I will be reviewing horses equipped with specific barding. There are a few types of barding available from LEGO and Bricklink. The first is the modern LEGO Castle Barding. Some modifications have been made since its inception to allow for horses to rear. However, the overall shape remains. It was recently featured in the Lion Knight's Castle set 10305. The second is the ruffled edged barding. This has been around since 1988 and thus far has not been re-released. The Vladek barding shown here does not allow for horses to rear. Lastly, we have the comparison barding, which LEGO has not made yet. It features longer cloth designs for the legs. This style is reminiscent of classical Warhammer Fantasy Bretonnian cavalry. This type of barding will be reviewed in the second video, as I've purchased quite a few. First up is the only ruffled edge barding I purchased in this order. Most, but not all horses featured do need to be built, so I'll speed through the building part as it gets quite repetitive. Even though barding is included, this order came with a golden saddle. All other sets have the horse and barding packaged together, while this one has them packaged separately. The barding comes with a dragon-shaped chamfron with horn attachment, and 2 sides with torch holders. I purchased this to see if it would work for a High Elf Dragon Prince's unit. The barding features beautiful chainmail decoration with the style of Castle Crown Kingdom. Upon further inspection, the line print is not well done here at all, with the gold of the crown bleeding out over the contour of the logo. The line work of color on the opposite side is not much better on the logo at the front of the barding. Getting this assembled, the plastic feels like a strong ABS. Alright, our first issue. The chamfron does not clip or attach onto the horse's head. A small shake and this piece falls off. I'm not sure what the purpose of the size and torches are here. The back end of the barding features the older design and will not allow for a horse to fully rear on its hindquarters. Overall, this is a miss for me. Color and theme are good, but lacks the execution. Next, we have the Wolfpack adjacent horse with barding. This one comes with some extras that we'll look at in just a few. I don't recall seeing this horse color in LEGO. I'll quickly assemble this and take a closer look at the barding. The Wolfpack adjacent logo looks pretty good. What pops here is the chainmail under the cloth design. This looks equally good on the other side. The other package that comes with this set includes some printed armor, weaponry, along with 2 cloth capes and a flag. The flag is made of hard plastic, which feels more rigid than LEGO streamers. The logo here is pretty decent, though the wolf face looks a little wider than the logo on the capes. Back to the capes, these are a lot thinner and flimsier than capes for minifigure capes. Overall, good stuff here. Next is the Green Dragon Kingdom's horse and barding. I'll assemble the horse and look at the barding in detail. A pretty nice barding with the chainmail design under the full plate design in the front and back. The yellow and green seem a little duller than the official colors, and it's equally the same quality on the other side. There is an official LEGO barding, which I don't have, so I can't compare in person. The original uses the ruffled edge mold and will cost over $100 on Bricklink for a good condition barding with clips that are intact. This version uses the modern mold and will cost just a fraction of the Bricklink price. This next piece features a logo not in the LEGO Castle lineup. This horse is pre-assembled, so I'll just attach the barding. At first glance, the logo reminds me of a Warhammer Fantasy Elector Counts logo. The horn barely fits into this slot. The design is okay and features wavy lines at the top. I'm not sure what these should represent. There is a small misprint on the other side. Next is a similar design with the cross. However, this barding has less detail. The design at the bottom I suspect is to represent metal, I'm not too certain. Either way, it doesn't really pull it off. The next one is another design not in the LEGO catalog. It features similar line art on the front and back. However, a nice added touch is the inclusion of the reins. The diamond pattern on the lower part adds some visual interest. The cross pattern is well printed on both sides. Up next is a Vladek knockoff decorated Barding. The horse is pre-built, which is always fun. It does feature a very finely detailed head. The Barding has pretty good prints on both sides. As I do have the original, let's compare the two Bardings. The original on the left uses the ruffled edge mold, whereas the new one uses the modern design. The original has a nice silver print compared to the dark bluish gray print. Line thickness on the AliExpress version are not as consistent in their design compared to the original. The scorpion logo is also much smaller on the alt version, and the red triangles are intersected on the dark bluish gray rather than cut out on the silver. The top-down view shows three major differences. The first is the slot shape for the tail is much smaller on the original, as horses in 2004 did not rear. The AliExpress version uses the modern design, which allows horses to completely rear. The second difference is the small nub on the front saddle. On the other brand, the nub is missing. Lastly, the clips are thicker on the AliExpress version, so the risk of snapping is lowered. The next Barding and steed is a replica Falcon Knight from set 10223, Kingdom's Joust. The prints are pretty decent, but there are some noticeable differences in quality and style. Looking at the two Bardings side by side, the original uses the ruffled edge mold to better effect. A graphic of a chain is printed on each ruffle, whereas the replica mostly does not show this print. Another important detail is the silver ink used on the original compared to the light bluish gray. This is noticeable on the fleur de lis pattern at the bottom of the Barding. The print is not as crisp either, which means the alt version could be used for other factions without much issue, and that is exactly what I plan on doing for this Barding. Similarly to the Vladek Barding, the three changes to the replica versions are larger tail slot, no saddle hub, and thicker clips. Overall, the pieces used for these sets feel like they were made from good quality plastic. Designs and prints are good for the most part. Some, like the Falcon Knight and Vladek Barding, would have benefited from the ruffled edge mold. It's surprising the creator-distributor didn't change the design a bit more to fit the molds they selected. Lastly, the price for hard-to-find designs like the Green Dragon Kingdom Barding is well worth it. On that note, that is all for part 1 of this series. Which Barding designs do you like, and which ones would you like to see LEGO create in their inventory? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.